Hey everyone, Steve here back on the N-Scale Cajon Subdivision. Welcome back to the channel and time for another layout update. This is going to be layout update number 10 and it's probably been about a month since our last one, so not as quick as I'd like to get it out, but wanted to go ahead and get a layout update for you guys. Got a few changes, got some stuff we've been working on here in the layout. Doesn't seem like a lot to me because I probably see the layout every day, but hopefully you guys will notice some changes and a little bit more progress since the last video. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look, see what we got going on the layout. All right, so main 3 on the upper level, we've kind of continued working main 3 up, as you can see here. Main 3 is starting to come around, and we've got track down all the way up to about here, and then I think I still have to put this track down. I've been kind of waiting to see how I do this bridge area right here, but there's where my track ends right now. And then just put in this brace just the other day, and this will be a brace where I'll actually cut out some of this sub road bed here and put this bridge for main 3. I believe it's this bridge right here, and got to modify a little bit of that sub road bed, so I wanted a support in there to actually put something underneath the supports for the bridge. So it's going to be a little bit tricky here because I do have those hidden sidings in the back, so when I actually have this bridge here in place, probably what I'll have to do is the part that's visible, I might actually have to get creative and put like a photo behind in the background of the bridge, so I don't see the tracks and trains running behind it, because that reversing loop there is actually supposed to be hidden, and once we get scenery all up over it, eventually it will be, but don't want to be able to see it through the bridge. So anyway, hopefully I'll get this bridge here installed shortly, and then I can keep working the track up main 3. I've also started putting some pictures on the layout and around the layout just for reference for me as I go. As you can see, I've started decorating a little bit here and there just for some reference photos. This sub road bed yet is not down glued to the top of these risers, and that's just so when I go to lay that track on that long section right there, what I'll do is I'll take that off and I'll probably put the track on like while the piece is down on the ground, and then I'll install it as one big section and glue it down. So this riser here I just put in as well, or I'm sorry, this brace here I put in as well, so I'm going to have another riser here and here. It was just the way I built this bench top for the upper level that kind of really didn't have anything supporting going across here, and don't want to have that big span of sub road bed and track with nothing underneath it. And then once I start putting fascia up, it'll kind of give me a little bit of something to mount that fascia to. So that's the upper level here on this end. Let's take a look at the other end. I'll go ahead and pan as I come down to the other end. I've got a set of another couple bridges. Don't know if I'm going to use those or not. I have that old Cato plate girder bridge. I was thinking about swapping out the track on it, using my code 55 on it, and using that bridge there for the SP UP Highline bridge. Maybe decorate it, weather it, and then those other bridges, the double girder bridge for Atlas, I don't know if I'm going to use those or not for the where mains 1 and 2 are passing over the wash out there in just east of Cajon Junction, or east of Sullivan's Curve. We'll see. Again, upper level as we make our way down Sullivan's Curve, nothing really has changed here. Cajon Junction, not much here. Down here toward the other end where Blue Cut is, this is about right here, is about where my sub road bed ended before. I've started working that sub road bed. I've got a little bit more in, and then what I've also done over here is, before Sorry, I'm probably moving quick. I'm trying to get a better angle for you guys. I used to have risers up there. I had some risers sticking up. I've gone ahead and cut those off, and then I've actually extended the bracing out so that as I bring the UP Highline out, it's going to go a little bit wider, on a little bit wider pass from mains 1, 2, and 3, and then it'll also lose some of that elevation before it gets over here to the helix. Okay. All right. I stepped on the came on the outside of the layout over here for a different perspective. You can kind of see over there the UP Highline, and as it's starting to make its way down, and then you can see mains 1, 2, and 3. So right about here, this is where the riser was. This brace coming out is new. I've kind of got a little bit of just cardboard mocked up where I might have some track, or it might not come out that far, but I do have to lose a little bit more elevation there, and I think that's the ideal way of doing it, rather than doing an extra pass on my helix just for the SP UP Highline. So we'll see though. I'm still kind of messing around with that, but as you can see, I'm starting to work in these, or I've already got these braces on, and then I'm going to go ahead and start working the UP Highline sub road bed down the rest of the way to the helix. And then here I'll have probably fascia, so you won't be able to see this probably from this side, but you'll be able to see it from the inside of the layout. And then I'll have some nice fascia on the front of it, so it'll kind of separate my lower level from my upper level. All right, on the lower level, I did go ahead and get most of, I think last time on layout update number 9, I was probably about here with the cork. I've got the cork pretty much down through most of the lower level. Sorry, I'm getting my fingers in the way. I've got a little bit of bench top here to paint, and then I can extend this cork just to about where this little drop off here of raised sub road bed is. Then I can kind of start working this end a little bit more. I don't have any curved Atlas 55 curved right hand turnouts yet, so I need one for like here, and then another one here for my 3 arrival departure tracks, and I don't have any just yet, so that's why I kind of really haven't been working this end too much. As you can see, arrival departure track 1 and 2 are already in up until about there where those blocks are, and these actually are powered, and I've got arrival departure track 1 and 2 in. I'll show you guys a different perspective here. Sorry, I got a plug in the way. And then as you can see there, main 3 still has to go in. That's the road bed the farthest to the left, and then where the UP train is, that's arrival departure track 1. To the right of it is number 2, and then there'll be a third one before the classification tracks in the yard lead. So, but that's my lower level so far. Now I can actually stage a couple of trains and get them off the mains if I don't want a particular train running, but I've got it made up and I like it. You know, I can go ahead and store it down here now, and then you know, I can kind of keep my mains a little bit clearer, or I can run some extra trains now. So haven't made any new ones up just yet, but I probably will just for the end of this video. Again, lower level, still not a whole lot has gone on, but sub road bed is pretty much done for the lower level. The road bed is done for the most part, and then now it's just working arrival departure tracks 1, 2, and 3, and 3 is already started. It's kind of up to about there, and then I'll start working that one around as well. Alright, on my lower level, not a whole lot has changed track side, but we do have some changes on the underside. and that is I've gone ahead and installed turnout motors for these 3 turnouts and this one down here. And these are tortoises underneath, and then I'm using the RPC electronics controllers on the fascia. And very easy to set up and install and mount. You know, these are my first turnout motors I've ever installed. I used to all do manual throws, and I told myself on this layout I wasn't going to do anything manual, so as far as turnout motors. So I think these are pretty neat. Shows you the state, and then these are pretty simple to mount up. The only difference is sometimes you might have the indicator, the LED indicator, backwards once you have the tortoise switch machine installed, and then these hooked up. Sometimes the red and the green, you might have to reverse the wiring if it's like showing the wrong color for that particular. Like for me, I want, when the turnout is closed or for trains to keep going through, I'd like it to be green, and then when it's thrown to like the diverging route, I'd like it to be red. So that's how I have mine set up. You can change it if you want. You can probably relabel these if you want, but I'm fine with it the way it is for now. And then the same with the turnout itself. If it's like if it's when it's closed, if it's actually open on the track, then you just would swap 2 of the leads and should be able to change the direction. But please don't grade me on my routing skills. This one slipped a few times. I think this one came out okay. I made a little jig after about the first 1 or 2 that kind of came out sloppy like that. But this is, again, just temporary. Once I get fascia, I'll actually mount them to the fascia, and you won't even see any of this garbage behind here that's all jagged and ugly. But pretty pleased with these. Again, these are RPC electronics. I think they're pretty simple to use. They're very clean looking on the layout, and you know, just got to trim these pieces of rod that's still sticking out and continue moving down the layout. So I have a DC bus now underneath this part of the layout, and it'll start working its way around the rest of the layout, and I'm just using a power supply for now. I've got to actually permanently mount that, so haven't got there yet, but I will here shortly. I need to actually make a power panel that's going to sit underneath this part of the layout here, and we'll actually have like it'll probably be higher up than that, but it'll be on the other side there, kind of below where my power panel is, or my power pack is right now, and I'll have some things nicely mounted, and my DCC system, 12-volt power supply, and some other things mounted to that. So still got to get there, but again, a little bit here, a little bit there. It's slowly coming along. So see if I missed anything. Oh, one other thing I did do is I really gave my layout area a good cleaning. I know it doesn't probably look like it, but I pulled everything out and I vacuumed all the carpet underneath it. You would have been amazed at what you saw come out of it. Lots of sawdust, lots of wire ends and wire insulation, that sort of thing, old crimps and things like that didn't maybe work the first time, pieces of wire, pieces of wood. So I'm a little bit more organized right now. Hopefully it stays that way. This isn't permanent by any means. It's just a little bit more organized for me as I try to work on things, and if I have to pull things out to do wiring underneath, it's a little bit easier to do. So recommend everybody at some point in time, you know, you gotta if you're not already doing it, you got to clean up the layout in the layout room from time to time, because mine was really bad. So, but anyway, again, that's about it for now. I'm gonna give you guys one last shot of the layout, and that's hopefully we'll have some more progress in the next update. And again, colder days here, shorter days, winters here. We really didn't have much of a fall, so winter is going to mean more time in here, so hopefully I'll get a lot more done. One other thing was just, this is where my UP Highline is going to make that turn and then head up over to that sub road bed I'm working on now. So anyway, all right, thanks again for visiting, stopping in, and feedback, comments, always welcome. And we'll hopefully have a few videos of some trains running here shortly behind this. This is my new Scale Trains Dash 9, one of 3 I got with sound. I've also got 4 of the Scale Trains Tier 4 Jivas with sound. I just haven't really been running them. I guess I need to start more often. I love these things. I'm just a little bit afraid to with work going on the layout, but
Alright everybody, appreciate you guys stopping in. We'll get some more running videos of trains running here up soon. Thanks again. Take care.